12th of August. Lovely to see everybody. I tend to see people from time to time on the COVID-19 briefing, but this will be the first time I've seen as many of you back here today, and welcome back. As I say, may I welcome the members to this first remote meeting of the full council. Please may I have your attention whilst I make a few announcements about how this meeting will be conducted. This meeting is a public meeting held in accordance with new regulations which permit local authority meetings to be held by remote means. The meeting is being conducted using Zoom as the virtual platform and will be live streamed for the public to view via the council's public webcasting system. This will mean that the recording will also be available for people to view later through the council's website. Sheffield Live TV also plan to record and rebroadcast this meeting. To help make the meeting run as smoothly as possible, it is important that all participants in the virtual meeting room have their microphones on mute for the duration of the meeting. Please only unmute when I invite you to speak. This will help reduce the scope for noise interference. May I also suggest that all mobile phones and similar devices, I better do mine as well, are switched to silent in order to remove the potential for disturbance when speaking at the meeting. Thank you in advance for your cooperation in this. May I remind members of the guidance provided to them yesterday by the clerk, Paul Robinson, that if you wish to speak at the meeting, you should use the Zoom chat facility to request to speak. You will need to indicate which item number you wish to speak on, and it is important that the message is sent to all panelists and not directly to myself. Paul will be monitoring the chat on my behalf, and messages sent directly to me run the risk of being overlooked. Please do not use the chat facility for any other purpose. Again, thank you in advance for your cooperation. The regulation on remote meetings require that members are able to hear and be heard by, and where practicable, are able to see or be seen by other members and by members of the public. In spirit of this, please can I ask that members keep their cameras on for the duration of the meeting. The webcast will from time to time scroll across the screens of the virtual meeting room to enable members of the viewing public to see the participants of the meeting. Finally, members of the viewing public may see members of the council looking away from their screens at times. This is because they will need to look at an additional screen or device containing their agenda papers. Please can I remind members that in addition to the published agenda for the meeting, an email was sent to them yesterday by Paul Robinson attaching 3 written reports which are to be considered at the meeting under items 2, 4 and 6B. These reports were also published on the website yesterday. Thank you. Just recent, well, during the pandemic, we've lost some people through, sadly, through some has been caught the virus. And since the March meeting of council, former councillors Howard Knight, Mike Bauer, George Matthews and Keith Hill have also passed away, also along with the sad death of a current councillor, was Pat Midgley, Councillor Pat Midgley. Yeah. You may wish to refer, oh, sorry. All right, okay. I also wanted to address full council today to acknowledge the extreme circumstances we have all become accustomed to since early this year. COVID-19 has made a significant impact on so many lives across Sheffield and across the world. Families have lost their loved ones. People were unable to visit their closest family and friends for months. Newborn babies could not be held by grandparents. The way we carried out our day-to-day lives ceased to exist, and we all had to quickly adjust for the safety of ourselves and for those closest to us, for our local communities, and for the protection of our health service. I wanted to take this moment to send my condolences to the families and friends of all those we have lost. This virus has taken too many lives, each one bearing immense significance because one life is one too many. My thoughts and prayers are with those who are grieving during this difficult time, many who have not even been able to say a final farewell. Life continues in a way we are not familiar with, and we are all adapting as best we can to a life post-lockdown. As restrictions to continue to relax, we are regaining some aspects of normality, which brings with it comfort and hope. We are all learning and will continue to do so for some time. And I hope that everyone continues to take care to look after themselves and each other. As the Lord Mayor of Sheffield, I want to share my deepest gratitude to everyone here at Sheffield City Council for the tireless work you have all done to keep the city and its residents safe, and also to every single person in this city who has shown help, support and kindness to others during these months of uncertainty. I am grateful and proud to represent Sheffield, and I'm extremely thankful that we have been so very well looked after throughout this pandemic, because through all that uncertainty, sorrow, worry, exhaustion and isolation, I have witnessed and experienced real courage, care, kindness, creativity, resilience and love. And these are the true qualities of this city and our people. I now propose to have a 1 minute silence for the people I read out earlier who have sadly lost their lives. Thank you. It is proposed that tributes to those former councillors are paid at the September meeting of the council. Item number 1, apologies for absence. I have apologies I've received apologies for absence from councillors Sue Alston, Andy Bainbridge, Lewis Dagnall, Neil Gibson, Francine Johnson, Ben Miskell, Peter Rippon, Jackie Satter. Are there any further apologies? Thank you. Item number 2, vacation of office by failure to attend meetings. This item of business is to approve requests to extend the period of office of particular councillors beyond their 6-month period of non-attendance, provided for within section 85(1) of the Local Government Act 1972. Further information about this matter is set out in the report of the Council's monitoring officer, which has been circulated prior to the meeting. Section 85(1) of the Local Government Act 1972 states that if a councillor fails to attend any meeting for a period of 6 consecutive months, starting from the date of their last attendance, they shall cease to be a member of the local authority, unless a waiver to this rule has been approved by the local authority before the expiry date of this period. Most of the council's formal decision-making meetings have now been reinstated following the outbreak of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. But there are a couple of scrutiny and policy development committees which have yet to meet since March, and this is the first meeting of full council since its meeting on the 4th of March. For any member who is not appointed to any committee or is only appointed to one of those scrutiny and policy development committees which has not met since March, today's extraordinary meeting of the council is the only meeting they have been able to attend since the 4th of March. The next meeting of the council is expected to be held on the 9th of September, beyond 6 months from the 4th of March. This applies to myself and councillors David Baker, Neil Gibson, Alan Hooper, Brian Lodge, Barbara Masters, Ben Miskell, Moy O'Rourke, Jack Scott and Paul Turpin. Therefore, if any of those members are unable to attend the meeting today, they will be deemed to have failed to attend a meeting since the 4th of March and will need their period of office extending beyond the 6-month period of non-attendance. Apologies for absence for today's meeting have been received from councillors Neil Gibson and Ben Miskell due to them being on holiday. May I therefore suggest that the council approves the extension of the period of office of councillors Neil Gibson and Ben Miskell beyond the 6-month period of non-attendance provided for within section 85(1) of the Local Government Act 1972, and with the extension of time expiring on the day after the date set for the next meeting of full council. Is that agreed? And I will take silence as the affirmation of the meeting. If any member wishes to dissent, please unmute and speak. The motion is carried. Item 3, declarations of interest. This item of business is to enable members of the council to declare an interest in any item on the agenda. When declaring an interest, the member should refer to the item of business, state whether it is pecuniary or personal interest, and outline the reasons for the declaration. Does any member wish to declare an interest? If so, please unmute and speak. Okay. Item 4, appointment to post of Chief Executive and Head of Paid Service. There is a maximum time limit of 25 minutes for this item. This item of business is to approve the appointment of a Chief Executive and Head of Paid Service. A report of the Director of Human Resources and Customer Services has been circulated prior to this meeting. The motion to approve the recommendation in the report is to move by Councillor Julie Dorr and seconded by Councillor Shafak Mohammed. If any other member wishes to speak, may I remind them that they need to request to do so via the Zoom chat facility, sending their message to all panelists. Councillor Dorr. Councillor Dorr, you need to unmute.
Thank you. Thank you, Lord Mayor. Can I just ask if you can hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Lord Mayor?
Yes, can hear you.
Lord Mayor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Can't hear her.
Lord Mayor?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
You can hear. Okay,
Yes.
that's good. Okay, thank you. I don't have a consistent connection, so I'll try and make this brief. Of course, I'm very pleased to be recommending the appointment of Kate Joseph to full council following an extensive recruitment process starting in December last year. Following appointment of Dolly Adnan, our interim chief executive, we commenced with Penna, the recruitment specialist, our search for an outstanding candidate with the relevant breadth and depth of knowledge and characteristics to lead our organisation. The start of the process was spent with the elected members of all groups to understand what should be considered in our search. We know Sheffield is authentic, feel independent, resilient, and a great place to live, learn, work, and enjoy. We needed a chief exec who can lead us tackle climate change, seeing social justice and environmental sustainability of our economy, places, communities, and the way of life as fundamental to our present and future. Our chief executive will need to lead, direct, and manage our workforce, and with members shape our strategic action and represent and negotiate partnerships ranging from our VCF, business, other local authorities, government, and beyond, both nationally and internationally. In Kate, we have found that person. Kate is current Director General, number 10 COVID Task Force. She has a wealth of public sector experience with a strong track record of making positive difference in a number of senior leadership roles, both here in the UK and the United States. She has a clear passion for supporting and developing both our city and organisation, while at the same time understanding the challenges we face. Throughout the process, Kate engaged with over 40 stakeholders, from people, trade unions, strategic partners, community partners, businesses, members of parliament, and of course our members. The feedback all was exceptionally positive. I am extremely confident that Kate will do a fantastic job for us and that you will enjoy working with her in the months and years to come. Kate will start with us in January, and in the meantime, I would like to say a huge thank you to Dolly Adnan for all her hard work and great leadership she has provided, especially during what is an exceptionally difficult time. I hope you all support the recommendation. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Councillor Shafak Mohammed.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. And nice to see you and colleagues back at full council. I like to second the motion by Councillor Daw. I've been involved in the process since the new year. We were very, very clear what our city and our city council in particular needed. We needed a fresh start, a new face to lead this council from an officer corps point of view. We had a very thorough process of nearly 20 applications, and Kate was the standout candidate, not just for us or the panel that met on the Friday, the 31st of July, but actually the partner panels that existed of young people, people from the business community, our own staff, and others were also part of the process, and a wide range of councils, not just the 6 of us that were on that panel. So everyone that has seen Kate either via Zoom or in person, like we had the opportunity to, has been thoroughly impressed with her dynamics, her personality, and her fantastic track record of not just working at the highest level here in the civil service in the UK, but actually working for President Obama during his during his second tenure. And I'm really excited that we've got the caliber of Kate. And what makes it even more special, Lord Mayor, is that she is local. You know, she has South Yorkshire at her heart. And actually, I do not see any problems in Kate connecting with communities, whether it's Totley or Tinsley. You know, and I think in particular, I'm proud that she's got young people.
30 seconds, thank you.
And therefore, I very, proud to second this motion to actually appoint Kate Josephs as our next Chief Executive of Sheffield City Council.
Thank you. Can I call upon Councillor Douglas Johnson, please?
Thank
Dear Lord Mayor, so on behalf of the Green Party councillors, I'd like to welcome Kate Josephs to Sheffield. I think that I'm looking forward to her bringing her engaging charm and her intelligence to the workings of the council in particular. So it'll be a welcome appointment. I do, of course, have to draw council attention to the fact that the proposed salary is in breach of the Green councillors' policy on a 1-to-10 pay ratio within the council in all likelihood. I'm just noting that that's been expressed in our budget amendment, so it won't be any surprise to anyone. But she is an engaging personality, and there are lots of areas in the council that we know will benefit from her improvement, and we're looking forward to her fresh views of shaking up the system where it's needed. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Does any member wish to speak? Okay. I will take the Councillor Kayum. Councillor Abdul Kayum.
Hello, thank you, Chair, and thank you very much for allowing me to speak. Hello, everybody. Nice to see everybody once again in person, albeit it's on the screen. Lord Mayor, I just want to say, obviously, having read the report and having listened to Julie and Sheffield regarding the process for appointment, I obviously have sort of full confidence in the process itself, and also I'm very pleased to hear the proposal, both, as I say, from Julie and the seconded from Councillor Shafaq Mohammed. And having read the report, I feel very confident that we have a very competent chief executive to take the city forward, and I'm very pleased. And I just want to thank all those involved in the recruitment process who have, I'm sure, done a very thorough job, and I've ended up with a chief executive that I hope and I'm sure will do wonders for our city in the years to come. So I just want to second this proposal or approve the proposal, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Okay. I'm now going to move to the vote on the motion to approve the recommendation in the report. Is the motion agreed? I will take silence as the affirmation of the meeting. If any member wishes to dissent, please unmute and speak. That motion is carried. Item number 5, representation, delegated authority and related issues. It is moved by Councillor Dinehurst, seconded by Councillor Sue Auckland, that approval be given to the changes in the membership of committees, etc. The appointment of representatives to serve on external bodies and related issues as detailed in the schedule circulated by email earlier today. Councillor Hurst, to move the motion.
Sorry,
you're mute.
I flicked back onto mute. Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Auckland.
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Does any member wish to speak? I'm now going to move to the vote on the motion. Is the motion agreed? I will take silence as an affirmation of the meeting. If any member wishes to dissent, please unmute and speak. The motion is carried. Item 6, dates of future meetings and format for the September meeting. There is a maximum time limit of 25 minutes for this item. This item of business is to approve the dates of the council meetings for the next 12 months and to agree the format of the September meeting, which will be the first ordinary meeting of the council to be held remotely. A report of the Director of Legal and Governance has been circulated prior to the meeting. I propose to deal with the item in two parts, by approving the dates first and then dealing with the format for the September meeting. May I propose that the dates for the full meetings of the full council for the next 12 months as set out on the agenda be approved? Is that formally seconded?
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Is that motion agreed? I will take silence as affirmation of the meeting. If any member wishes to dissent, please unmute and speak. The motion is carried. The motion to approve the recommendations in the report of the Director of Legal and Governance in relation to the format of the council meetings in September is to be moved by Councillor Diane Hurst and seconded by Councillor Sue Auckland, beg your pardon. If any other member wishes to speak, may I remind them that they need to request to do so via the Zoom chat facility, sending their message to all panellists. Councillor Hurst.
Formally moved, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Auckland.
Formally seconded, Lord Mayor.
Councillor Martin Phipps.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. So I just wanted to raise that the Green Group does not support the suggestion for the September meeting to not have notices of motion. It's disappointing that it has taken the administration since March to hold a full council meeting and that it's taken so long for other committees to be held virtually. We are living in strange and sad times, and whilst we recognise we are all working to find a new norm, other councils have been holding these meetings virtually for some time, including having notices of motion. Notices of motion are a key way groups can contribute ideas and raise issues on behalf of the city and those they represent. We will be pushing for a return of notice of motions as soon as possible, as there is so much to discuss and act upon. COVID, Black Lives Matter and addressing racial discrimination in Sheffield and the council, climate change, building back better and greener, and now how to support residents, businesses and voluntary community and faith organisations that have supported Sheffield through COVID through a recession. We appreciate that there is a suggestion for a COVID update next month instead of motions, which may be of interest to members of the public, but do not believe that this should come at the cost of motions. The regular Friday meetings and openness of the Department of Public Health have allowed a good opportunity for elected members to ask questions about COVID to the team and of the council. COVID messaging and the opportunity for questions to be asked by residents
Councillor Phipps.
should be well communicated and available, but this needn't and shouldn't come at the cost of motions. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Does any other member wish to speak? Oh, Councillor Mohammed, Shafat Mohammed.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Whilst I share Councillor Phipps' frustration about not having full council meetings, I think we need to look forward to actually what we do now. And I'm grateful that we are to have a full council meeting in September. I'm also grateful that not only will public questions and petitions be on the agenda as the first item, but also members' questions. So any issues like the ones that Councillor Phipps has raised can now be raised in public with cabinet members by opposition councillors. And actually, Lord Mayor, I think one of the big issue facing the city at the moment is COVID-19 and our response, particularly as our children are set to return to schools. And the fact that we've got this as on the agenda with a presentation from the Director of Public Health, I think we need to spend our time in September questioning our Director of Public Health in public and allow members of the public to see that happening. We've been doing that behind closed doors, but we can do that now in public. And you know what? I think I'm all for reviewing. And after September's meeting, I'm happy to sit down with other colleagues from different parties and review how we go forward. And we may well end up having notice of motions in October. But I just think at the moment, the number one issue in our city, particularly for our parents, will be around the education and our response to COVID-19. And I think the format proposed is sufficient to address those concerns. Hence why I'll be supporting the proposal for the September council agenda.
Thank
you, Lord
you.
Mayor.
Councillor Joe Otten.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Thank you, Lord Mayor. I just wanted to respond to Councillor Phipps's comments, because there's some truth in what he is asking for. But the problem we've had as a council over the last few months is that we've had a lot of decisions being taken under emergency procedures, which, while in some cases that's been justified because they've been needed taken urgently and they deal with critical matters. We've lost much of the structure of normal governance that we normally rely on in this council to have decisions made well and properly scrutinised and properly debated. And notices of motion are part of that. They're probably the least important part. I mean, we have scrutiny meetings, scrutiny committees which haven't met and they should have met, and they could have met over Zoom. Licensing committee, which I'm on, met very early and has been meeting fairly regularly, so that clearly works. And so, I've been frustrated for months. I'm sure many of us have. That the proper scrutiny and debate over decisions in this council has been missing, and it didn't need to be missing. That's the thing. The point of emergency powers is to deal with an emergency. Is not to take normal business continuity, getting back to work decisions away from cabinet members and scrutiny committees and elected councillors generally. So I have some sympathy, but I'm not going to support the call for notice of motions. I think we're finally getting back into having council meetings. There's a process. I really hope that we have normal council meetings, normal scrutiny meetings in a couple of months over Zoom, because that's where we need to be getting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. As no one else has indicated to speak, I'm now going to move to the vote on the motion to approve the recommendations in the report. Is the motion agreed? I will take silence as the affirmation of the meeting. If any member wishes to dissent, please unmute and speak. I'd just like to ask the Green Group, with you having made a dissension on this one, if you want your votes recorded. No?
Sorry, Lord Mayor, I thought that Councillor Phipps was about to answer. I think we've made our point. We won't. It's going to be voted through, so we're just going to. You've heard what we said. That's all.
Okay. Thank you very much, Councillor Johnston. Yeah. So the motion is carried. Thank you. Just before we finish the meeting, and thank you all for your attendance. It's greatly appreciated, and it's lovely to see you all again. It'll be good when we can get back to proper council business, but until then, I'd just like to thank Kate Sheldon, who has worked tirelessly and kept our office going, not only our office, but has also kept other things going as well. And I think a round of applause from everybody would be appropriate. Thank you. So this concludes the business. So this concludes the business of today's meeting. As I say, thank you all for your attendance, and I look forward to seeing you all in September. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Bye.
Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Have a nice summer. Bye-bye.
Bye.